peas and a bong. 2 peas in a bong. 2 peas in a bong.
2 peas and a bong. 2 peas and a bong. 2 peas and
a bong.
2 Peas in a bong in the building again. It's your boy DP.
And it's your boy KP. How y'all doing today?
Good. Bong will be with us in spirit and connection as always, even if he doesn't make today's live. We may see him in the chat. But man, where do we start? Bong is in the chat already.
Okay.
Bong. And waiting for the NBA to manufacture a Game 7. It's your boy Bong. Oh, shit. Well, wasn't no Game 7 in that other series. Which one you want to go in for? Okay, so the Knicks.
Absolutely. You got to start with what happened today, man.
I'm not surprised. I think I did say Minnesota. It would be the reverse. Minnesota would win, and the Knicks would lose. But I mean, the Knicks were at the crib. They pushed it to a Game 6. So, are the Pacers in trouble? I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. It doesn't give me that feel.
Both times the Knicks have won, they've held the well, I won't say both times. The first time they held the Pacers to 100 points, which is well under what they average. The second time they held them to 97 points. So I think the Knicks have figured out how they could beat the Pacers. I'm not going to say that they're in trouble, but we'll see how the Pacers come out this next game in Indiana. Like, I mean, this was a wire-to-wire victory. This was probably the most dominant that New York has been in the playoffs. They were physical, and I guess the way that it came out was kind of foretelling how it was going to be. It's first possession, Jaylen Brown scores a layup. Indiana's first possession, traveling violation, Miles Turner. Miles Turner was never able to get going. He shot the ball well. I mean, he only took 3 shots, but he just wasn't able to. In 24 minutes, he just never got into the flow of the game. The next possession, Brunson scored again. So it's Brunson on the attack. And then Indiana's next possession, Siakam with the turnover. Siakam's been lights out pretty much this whole series, but this was one of those games where Siakam could have gotten going. He did have 5 assists. Siakam did, so that was good, but he just didn't shoot the ball well. 5 for 13 from the field.
Yeah, I mean the Pacers didn't. This wasn't their best effort, dog. You like plus and minus territory. You talk about that shit. The only players in plus territory for the Pacers were folks off the bench. Nobody in starting 5, and even the folks who the main guys who come off the bench. I think McConnell may have been in plus. I know Obi Toppin wasn't, and then what's your boy Shepard wasn't. So I mean, it wasn't a good game. It just wasn't. I mean, E. Gibson is saying the Knicks need to throw multiple defenders at Hallie all game. He's the head of the snake for them. True, he is.
Yeah,
And I mean, he didn't have his best effort. 2 for 7 assists. He only had
6.
6 assists.
He didn't have
I
any
mean,
turnovers though.
yeah, I mean, we know he takes care of the basketball. It's just, I'm just saying, this wasn't like a this wasn't, you said it was wire to wire. The Pacers never really pressed. I mean, they got within 10, I think 10 or 11 a couple times. It was one of those things where they just never really pressed, and they didn't play well collectively.
You,
So
you know, one thing that Carlisle did as well was he used this game as an experimental game. So he put Jarice Walker in the second quarter with 2 minutes and 56 seconds left in the first half. And I think it was like a 12-point game. Halliburton was going to the free throw line. But the thing with Jarice Walker is he hasn't played the whole series.
yeah, but you said that the last time they lost, you said he used that game as an experimental game. So the only time the Knicks can beat him is when Carlisle decides he's
I'm not
experimenting.
I'm not saying that. The Knicks were already winning and it wasn't going Indiana's way. I'm just saying early on, it was still the first half. You put a person in Jarice Walker who hadn't played the whole series.
Okay, so that's the reverse of what your first experiment was. Well, your first reference of experiment for Carlisle, because they were up and then they squandered that lead off. But this type of experiment is we getting smacked, no energy.
Let me
Let's
just
see
yeah,
if somebody could, yeah.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
okay.
I mean, he wasn't bad. It was just like I mean, I remember thinking when he put him in, I was like, damn, that's another person that Indiana could conceivably put in their rotation as a plug and play guy to give them some solid minutes.
And Bong says Precious Chua was an experiment also on the
Well,
Knicks side of the game.
it was necessity for Precious because Carl Anthony Towns picked up a bad foul. It was a silly foul, and it gave him 4 personal fouls in the third quarter. So they had to go with Precious.
Everybody who actually played for the Knicks scored except for your boy
Right?
Delon Wright.
And
Yeah.
Mister could get it right, Mister.
Yeah. Everybody got in the books in the points category except for him.
Yeah.
Um well, I mean, I don't I wouldn't feed too much into this. You don't want to lose any games right now. Like it's getting down to the wire. You want to put a team to bed when you can, right? Like don't give another opportunity to come back and sneak one, which the Knicks did today. But going back to Indiana with John Halliburton back in the building, um, I mean, yeah, look, listen, do they have a chance to win? Yes, they have a chance to win. Um, what was the percentage on the teams getting the top lottery pick when I was like,
Oh, 1%, less than
yeah, so I
$1.
mean, they got a chance. They got a chance, but do I think that they'll win? Um, I don't think they'll win, but they got a chance. What did Kevin Garnett say?
Anything is possible.
All right. So I mean, yeah. But do you think that they'll win?
Do I think that they'll win? Um, that's a good question. I don't know. At this point, I'm leaning like 55 to 45 Indiana. But
Okay.
to me, that's not enough. That's still too close for me to kind of call it. But I'm like 55, 40. And
It's
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 funny.
it's between 55 to 60 Indiana side of the game. It's somewhere in that range.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Um, but I think I would still give, just like I say, I would give the edge to Indiana because they're at home. Like the Knicks, they fed off of their crowd. They didn't want to lose, especially at the crib, and they won. So you going back to Indiana. Indiana don't want to go back to MSG.
No, they
So
don't.
let's keep that.
No.
Let's keep that
John
all the
Stark,
way locked.
line,
Yeah,
trying to sway the
no.
referees. You got
So they gonna come out. Um, they gonna come out playing hard, man. Like, and they
Indiana.
gonna try to. Oh yes, they're gonna come out playing hard, and I don't see them. I'm gonna lean on the heavier percentage of 60, but I could go with anywhere between 55 to 60 in favor of the Pacers. Um, but what they will have to do is, like E. Gibson was saying earlier, that Halliburton is the head of the snake. He's got to get going. He's got to get in his groove. He's got to distribute the ball. He's got to control the pace. Um, so that is first thing. I think you got to get Miles Turner going.
Mhm.
So probably some pick and roll, some high pick and roll with Miles Turner popping out for the three, of course, or Halliburton driving and making a decision to kick to, some of the open shooters. They, like I say, remember in the beginning of this series that I said they were attacking Jalen Brunson. That
Yeah.
the guards for like Nimhard and all those, like Nimhard, um, Neesmith not so much, but Neesmith some, Halliburton, they all need to, if they get a switch and Jalen Brunson gets matched up on them, they got to attack him, because just as E. Gibson is saying that Halliburton is the head of the snake for the Pacers, guess what? Brunson is the head of the snake for the Knicks. So if you get him off his game, which they, I don't know if they can do it offensively, because he's gonna cook. Period. He's gonna cook them dudes. But they can go at him on the defensive end, and either he, get him in foul trouble, because he has been in this series at times. So that needs to definitely be a strategy of theirs. Look for the switch on Brunson and attack it. And then don't be afraid to feed Pascal Siakam, because he is key. When he gets going, you know, he's hard for the Knicks to stop. He's a matchup problem for them.
And you have an inside out.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So a couple things with what you said. Today was you said attack Brunson. Today was like the first time in the series that Brunson was at a high plus. He was at plus 18, even though he had 32 points.
Here we go. Kevin Fitzpatrick.
Hey
Give
man,
us some more plus minus.
so you look at that, and then you talked about foul trouble. He only had 2 fouls.
Right.
So he was able to be on the court a little bit longer. I find it interesting. Everybody makes it seem like coaches and players don't listen to the media, don't feed into the media.
Oh, they do.
Man, Tibbs is starting to really play his bench since people have been talking about him. And
Well, well, how will that work, right? Because what will the talk be if he loses? If they lose, will it be he waited too long to start, playing his bench? He should have done that earlier in the season. Will that be the talk, or does he think he's dead in that now by, hey man, I played my bench and we didn't get it done?
you can't dead it because you gave up game one not playing your bench. So essentially, you could be up 3-2 and have control of the series. So no,
Yeah.
you should have played your bench. That like he can't escape that. As long as as long as there's a Derrick Rose and we still remember what happened with Derrick Rose, he can't
Yeah,
escape that.
yeah. And we need to talk about what the Knicks can do on their side to win.
Yeah.
So Al Sucks at Mock Drafts is saying OG was 3 for 14 today.
Mm.
Um, he still thinks he shoots too many times. He says get OG inside instead of sitting him in the corner. Him and Mikal are both good mid range shooters, but Mikal is the only one getting the opportunity to get those shots. I think Mikal just looks for it more, to be honest.
The,
Um,
and look, but I mean, looking at that stat, yeah, OG didn't shoot the ball well today, but everybody else did for the Knicks. Like all four of the other guys were over 50%. So
and here's the thing, like just to break that down from a like an offensive standpoint, it's
Mhm.
not like you have Carl Anthony Towns down in the paint clogging up the middle. Carl Anthony Towns is shooting threes too, top of the key, which
Kate,
means
Caitlin Towns.
which means that it's down low in the mid-range game should be open. Like you should be able to get to that. OG Mikal's doing it. So OG, I think he's just deciding not to. He's taking the
Settle.
threes. Yeah, he's settling. Like he can get to it if he wants to. It's just, you know, I'm just saying offensively, look at their scheme. The only one who would probably be clogging the middle, if you want to say that, would be Mitchell Robinson
Robinson. Yeah.
when they have him in, but he's not always in.
He's not a post presence though. So
Right.
he's in there to get offensive rebound
Rebounds
and
and
get
kick
more
out.
possessions. Yes.
Absolutely. K Bird in the building.
Um,
Salute to you.
so what I would
Appreciate you.
so what I would say is that New York has to control the pace. They can't run with Indiana. They have to slow the game down. They have to, try to bruise them inside. Pause. Carl Anthony Towns, don't shoot as many threes. You can shoot some. It's okay to shoot some,
Yeah.
but need you to get inside. Need you to establish yourself inside. Need you to get rebounds. Don't need you to pick up any silly fouls. He has a knack for picking up dumb fouls and then looking like he's flopping and
Yeah.
doing all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah.
that. Brunson can't turn the ball over and and realize you can't run with these guys. Sometimes guys get, you're competitive and you don't want to admit, man, damn, I can't keep up with them.
Hmm.
But the reality is you can't keep up with them. You can't. Like
Yeah.
they've been playing 9 and 10 all year, so they're still kind of fresh and they're younger. You
Yeah.
you've been depleted all year, and you guys are sucking oxygen. Tibbs
It-
is starting to play his bench more, so I do say that he's got to continue to play some of his bench players.
yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that. He does. I mean, um, and yes, E. Gibson, I agree with you. Controlling the pace is huge for New York. Um, and it looks like you were agreeing with KP on that.
Yeah.
I will say too, back to your point about Mitchell Robinson's impact, controlling the boards is also important for the Knicks. And if you look at Mitchell Robinson's and Carl Anthony Towns' defensive rebounds, they account for more of their rebounds. So they're not necessarily getting the second chance opportunity rebounds for them to get a second chance on the offensive side, but they are stopping one possession. If Indiana is missing those threes, it's up one possession and out, and we going down to the other side. So that actually just gives them more offensive opportunities on that side by stopping them defensively. So it still kind of works in that way. But yeah, controlling the pace, controlling the board, that's key for the Knicks.
Absolutely. But this particular game, yeah, it wasn't It wasn't a good showing by Indiana. They didn't shoot the ball good. They just didn't play good.
Hey, look. So Bong says, "Say what you will about Cat, but there are a lot of times where he looks like he's hustling second hardest to Josh Hart. There was a point. Is it who was announcing? It was who was announcing tonight?
Oh man, I had the game muted, man.
Okay,
Wasn't even listening.
so there was a point where somebody said, I forget who it was, but they were like, I don't know if I would put Carl Anthony Towns in the game right now. And it was late.
Reggie Miller,
I don't think it was Reggie Miller who said it.
or was it? It was Stan
It
Van
was
Gundy.
Van Gundy. It was
Stan Van Gundy,
yeah.
yeah.
Bird said it. K Bird said it. It was Van Gundy who said it. He was like, I don't know if I would put he said, I don't know if I would put Carl Anthony Towns in right now. He just does. Basically, he was saying sometimes he just does dumb shit.
Yeah.
In other words, he didn't say it like that, but he kind of alluded to that.
Was
Like,
that when he got the foul on Siakam?
I don't know if it was then. I don't know if it
Oh,
was then.
my
It was
God.
kind of late, and it was like just to make sure, like they put a cap on it and didn't allow Indiana to. It was when Indiana was making one of those runs. I think they went on a 7-2 run or so. It was something, but it was late in the game, and he for sure said some shit along the lines of, he be
Yeah.
doing some dumb shit. And K Bird said it's the dumb fouls.
Yeah. He's gotta stop that, man.
Yeah, and that it was Harlan, Van Gundy, and Miller.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was Van Gundy who said, I was gonna say Van Gundy, but I was like, let me make sure. But yeah, that shit was so funny. But man, the favorable matchup for OKC. Let me say this. I think they would be favorites in both. I think they would be favored in both matches, whether it's
Mhm.
against the Pacers or the Knicks. Who would be an easier matchup? I would say I say the Knicks, man. I say the Knicks. Um one of the major reasons why I'm gonna say this is I think this series is gonna take a lot out of the Knicks. And when they get to if they get to the finals,
Mhm.
they will have played 7 games in this series. And they'll have to play hard to beat the Pacers. And then you got to turn right around and go into OKC. You're going to get your ass whooped in that game.
Wait a minute. So damn that that sound like an airplane. 767. They played 7 in the first series, 6 in the second series,
Hey,
and if it's 7, God, dog, that's
yeah.
20 games.
K Bird said OKC wants the Knicks. K Bird, do you think it's because they believe the Knicks are an easier match? E. Gibson says favorable matchups versus either heavily favored OKC. In my opinion, they are more athletic and have superior. Yeah, E. Gibson. That's what I'm saying. I say against either one of them teams. OKC is the favorite. They're gonna be favored in both matchups.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
I think that they would be favored more against the Knicks, so they may say that they want the Knicks, but I think the Knicks are a grittier team.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I like the Knicks are gritty.
no. Not grittier. I'm not saying they're not gritty, but I don't know if I would say they're grittier than the Pacers. No.
Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, as nasty as it looks, Towns is playing grittier than he's ever played before.
So is Miles Turner. You gonna say Towns is, but not Miles Turner?
He's playing grittier than Turner.
I said Turner is playing grittier than he has. You
Yeah,
said, yeah.
no, I meant when I said I meant he's been playing this year. Towns has played grittier than he's ever played before.
And I'm saying in this series, if you were trying to say Miles Turner didn't, he is as well. Miles Turner is getting to it. All of them are. Like McConnell, you naming players, McConnell does too.
McConnell.
Neesmith is gritty. Nimhard too. Like there, it's not like he does, man. Yes, he gets a sneaky rebound here and there. He plays tough. Nimhard. I'm saying he plays tough defense.
Okay. You said Nimhard. Okay.
Yeah. Who'd you think I said?
No. I was thinking in my head like I said Neesmith and you were disputing me saying Neesmith. I'm like, no. I'm agreeing that Neesmith.
Yeah, no, I said you name players on the Knicks, so I just start naming players on the Pacers. Neesmith for sure. Neesmith's defense on his straight up defense on Brunson 1-on-1. At least he's making him work. That's why not Van Gundy. I'm still talking about Van Gundy. That's why Thibodeau has to have some action where he brings Brunson off the ball, so he's not working so tough to bring it up court. Let Hart or somebody else bring it up, or almost like the Timberwolves did, where Julius Randle, they would initiate the offense up top with him. Like, man, I like Neesmith. Even if he gets cooked after Brunson gets the ball, Brunson got to do a lot to get that motherfucker. Like he's denying, and
I will agree with you on Neesmith. I'll agree with you on Mathurin. Those two are very.
I didn't even say Mathurin, but yes, Mathurin.
I'll say those two are very, very gritty. I think like I look at Neesmith and I say Neesmith is a Thibodeau kind of guy. Thibodeau would love Neesmith.
Hey, AK Bird said Indy is like some pretty Ricky light skinned boys. DP. hey, K Bird 80. Don't do him like that.
Grind with me. Oh man.
Hey, listen. They're playing hard though. Paul.
They do play hard.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Tibbs is a gritty coach. That's his style. They're like New York is blue collar. There's nothing pretty about what New York is doing.
But with you saying that, I'm just sitting here thinking, if it was like that, and also what K Bird is saying, then the Pacers would be getting punked. But they're not, because they're also playing gritty.
I'm saying the Pacers are a tough team. I agree.
Yeah, I'm saying both of the teams are. Listen, these teams, I said that these teams are very similar. It's just the Pacers do not have star power. They don't. So for that reason, they lean heavily on each other more so than any other teams except for OKC, and they have more chemistry except for OKC. OKC has a combination of chemistry and they have some star power.
And Bong still is sticking to his point about Cat.
Yeah, he says, say what you will, but Cat is hustling, saying he should be off the court due to a few bad fouls is like saying Brunson should be off the court because he is a defensive liability. Yeah, Bong. I was just saying, but with Van Gundy, that shit was funny. That somebody is actually trying to point out, they'd be a little bit nervous about putting him in certain situations, and he's a star.
I'd be because it's like you do the dumb stuff, and then you're looking like, why did you call that?
Like, and yeah, K Bird, the Pacers got punked tonight. But would you say that that's what's been happening the entire series? Let's say, would you say that that's what's been happening since they're the pretty Ricky light-skinned cats? Is that what's been happening with them this entire playoff run? Just wondering.
Not
He said KP just used the word gritty. I'm saying the same thing.
yeah,
That's
New
what
York.
Bong said.
They're gritty, man. It's nothing pretty about it, man. I say for that
The gritty pretties. Can we call the Pacers that the gritty pretties or
the
the gritty pretty boys?
but I say though so looking at New York and seeing that they don't have a deep bench. Tibbs doesn't play the bench. He only plays a certain amount of players. OKC is deep. OKC is going to be rested. I could see them wanting the Knicks as well. I just don't know if, and I think that they'd be favored to win. I just don't know if, I don't know how much it depends on how the referees call the game. I think the referees, when OKC has been playing, I think that they've been light whistles. Like I was discussing this earlier. When when OKC played Minnesota, Shea got a lot of foul calls, not on account of sometimes on account of his lack of strength. There were times that he tried to shoulder check Anthony Edwards, bounced off his body and kind of stumbled, and the referees called the foul on Anthony Edwards. Whereas Anthony Edwards would drive to the basket and wouldn't always get the call. And so you saw that Minnesota got discouraged and they stopped playing as physical as they could have against OKC.
Minnesota just wasn't ready.
And I say all that to say, I don't know. I don't think New York would do that. New York is going to be physical regardless. They're going to foul everything regardless.
New York will get cooked.
But I'm saying this: if the referees let them get away with it, it could be a closer series than most would expect.
New York will be filleted if they make it to the finals.
Like we watched New York was hacking the shit out of Boston in them fourth quarters, and the referees was swallowing their whistles like, we just gonna let it play out. If y'all gonna flop and try to get a call, then we're not gonna call it. But in a lot of those cases, they was hacking.
All I'm saying is OKC is a better version of the Pacers, and they're having trouble with the Pacers. I don't see them.
DP, I agree with you.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you don't.
Oh, okay,
I'm making a point. I'm just saying I don't see the Knicks. Brothers think when you say something that you going against. I didn't hear you say you would anything that was going against it. I'm just saying the Knicks are having trouble with the Pacers. So if they're having trouble with the Pacers, what do we think they will have with OKC? I don't care if they're not calling the fouls or whatever. Like OKC I think they just got too much for them. And Minnesota, I know we're not going into that right now, so I'll save it. But and K Bird, just to circle back, I saw what you said, and I get what KP is saying about the Knicks being more gritty. I just wanted to point out that Indiana is just not a pushover. Like I understand the Knicks are a gritty squad. They are taking the identity of a Tibbs and all of that stuff, hard nose, So yes, I get that. I'm just saying that the Pacers are applying a little bit of that too, and that's why they're able to be in this series with the Knicks. Because if they didn't, then they would be getting bullied, and they'd probably be down right now, and we'd be talking about possible elimination for them in this next game. But E. Gibson says OKC has too many players to throw at the Knicks.
They do. All I'm saying is E. Gibson is I would be curious to see how the referees would call it. If the referees allow New York to be physical and kind of over the top physical, I think that New York can steal a couple games and make it a series. If that's the case. But if they don't give them that advantage, they will get ran out the gym it may be a sweep.
Yeah. And now sucks at mock draft says OKC is the Pacers except for if you added the best defense of the last decade.
I know that they've been defending well. I don't know if I'm ready to say that they have the best defense over the last decade. But they have been defending well.
Yeah, they play well defensively for sure.
I do want to say that.
K Bird says in reality, New York should have been up 3-2. It took that game one collapse to flip the series. Yeah, KP said something alluding to that earlier. But then even with that, K Bird, still a competitive series, right? 3-2. Like even if we flip it and say that the Knicks are up 3-2, what was it? Was it last year where it was 4-3? The Pacers eliminated them. Who did the Pacers? The Pacers and the Knicks went. Let me see. Pacers versus Knicks. Because I know. Let's see.
And while you're looking at that, I'm going to answer Bong. Well, I want to answer both of these people while you're looking that up. So I'm going to pull this up. Bong said OKC has the size to negate Towns and the on-ball defenders to frustrate Brunson. So I do get that and understand that. They do. I'm just more so, I would just be more so curious, Bong, just to see if the referees would say, hey, we're going to even this out a little bit, and we just going to let the Knicks get away with playing a little over-the-top physical. We're gonna let that Tibbs work his magic. I'd be curious to see that.
Yeah, I agree with that. What Bong is saying. That's why I'm saying it's gonna be tough. Because you got John B down there and your boy Hartenstein. And Chet Holmgren is playing well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough, man. And yeah, so the Pacers won in game 7. Yep. So K Bird, yeah, it was the semifinals. So yeah, and that was a 4-3 series, 7-game series Pacers way. Now here we are again. Like they just it's competitive when it comes to these two squads. So Scotty Boy in the building. What's up, Scotty Boy? Hey, Scotty Boy's introductory comments are always worthy of mention. He says, I may have lost my home, my car, the clothes on my back, but I still got my dignity. Scotty Boy out there walking around naked paws with his dignity, y'all.
Naked pride.
Naked pride. Hey, naked pride in the laundromat. Ain't got no clothes, but he in the laundromat. Shaking quarters. Waiting for KP to come with the next picks. Shout out to Scotty Boy.
And Bong, what is Bong saying?
Bong is saying if they allowed him to play 90s basketball, it will be competitive. OKC is more finesse. Caruso and Dort will play jail ball, though.
Whoa.
So I'm just saying, like, I mean, but he's right. Caruso is a good defender. Dort's a good defender. You had the perimeter guys to throw at Brunson. Like,
but he's saying it'll be competitive if they allow it to be physical both ways. But if
and that's what I'm saying, because you said earlier that it would be in New York's advantage because they would be hacking and kind of bullying. And I'm saying when he throws out this point about Caruso and Dort, I mean, I'm just taking that as well. They can kind of get aggressive and go at Brunson also and rough him up too.
I'm saying in that case, then it wouldn't be competitive anymore.
For it would just be all OKC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
But
one-sided.
but I would ask you then, do you think that okay, who would be the more effective foul baiter in that series? Brunson or SGA?
Brunson.
You think Brunson would be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like if you put Mikal Bridges on SGA,
Mm-hmm.
Mikal Bridges is a bony dude too. And two bony dudes bumping and falling
Whoa.
falls. Two slender dudes colliding and going backwards, and you like, you don't know who got the advantage. You like, I don't know, because you're looking at body types, you're looking at physicality, all that stuff, so you can't tell. Now, if they put OG on him, you're like, oh hell no, OG's way too damn strong.
Hey, K Bird is saying that SGA would be the more effective foul baiter.
I don't know.
Look, Al Sucks at Mike Draft said, "Whoa." He's like, "Oh shit." Hey, Al Sucks at Mike Drafts too. I saw. I did see that the Steelers were trying to get Jonnu Smith.
But I think
He'll be a
Brunson.
good pickup for him.
Oh, my fault.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think Brunson would be the better foul baiter because he's smaller in size, stature, and you're gonna have if you got a Lou Dort. Lou Dort is over the top physical, and he's physically imposing. So man, he's gonna have Lou Dort would be in foul trouble. And then Caruso, I don't think Caruso would get away with being able to be as physical with Brunson that he would be with the other guys because the other guys that he's been guarding, he's been smaller than them. Like he's smaller than Anthony Edwards, he's smaller than the Joker. He was smaller. So he's smaller than Julius Randle. So you can get away with being more physical when you're smaller versus now you're playing against somebody that's physically smaller than you. So you can't be as physical. They will call it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just even if Dort gets in foul trouble and
Oh yeah,
they're
they've
just
got more
gonna
to throw
run
at it.
somebody. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're just gonna
yeah,
run somebody else at. Like it's gonna be. That would be tough. I mean, that's why I'm saying the Pacers, because we're talking like the Knicks are just going.
Nah, I don't think they're going.
If they play the Pacers, same thing. I think OKC is gonna win.
I think the Pacers. Yeah, I don't think the Pacers have enough in the interior. When you talk about Miles Turner, I think Miles Turner is going to settle on too many jumpers. I think that Siakam could be a problem, but I'd be curious to see if Chet Holmgren's length, pause, affects him. If it's effective,
It probably will. And the thing is, like they don't have. Once you go past Miles Turner, who do you have as far as bigs?
yeah, you got an undersized top end.
Right. So if you say
Bradley.
So then if you say, all right, we're undersized, we're gonna run. OKC runs too.
Yeah, they're
like
running.
it's like it's
but I will say this. Here's the crazy thing though.
Shout out to FYF in the building.
What up, FYF?
Yeah.
I think the crazy thing is though, I think if there's one team that could outscore OKC, it's Indiana.
Yeah, but again, it becomes it's a fast-paced running game, right? And can you clearly say that, oh man, that's to the Pacers' advantage?
No.
Running right. It's like
I mean, but both of them are gonna throw 10 out there. So you just don't
I hear you.
And it's like, okay, look, you could put Lou Dort on what? You could put him on Halliburton. We just gonna have somebody else score. And then when you put him on that person, we just gonna go to somebody else.
Yeah, it's I, listen. And then K Bird says OKC is a greedy team too. Plus those defensive runs and forcing turnovers. Right. Like it if I had to bet the house on it, I would be picking OKC. That's all I'm saying. E. Gibson asks what matchups would Indy or the Knicks have favorable over OKC. Um,
I'll start with saying E. Gibson. It depends on how the refs call it. If the refs allow New York to be physical and gritty, that's their advantage. You're gonna
no,
have to
but
hack.
he's saying matchups specifically, like
Oh,
matchups.
okay. Player matchups.
Yeah. Because you
Karl Anthony
said
Towns. I think
Towns over whichever big is guarding him.
yes, because
But
he
see,
can step away from the basket, and then it kind of depends, right? If if the Knicks were to decide to start two bigs, if they start two bigs, then you're gonna have Isaiah Hartenstein guarding Mitchell Robinson, and then you're gonna have Chet Holmgren on Karl Anthony Towns. I think Karl Anthony Towns can win that matchup.
and there's some familiarity there too with Robinson and Hartenstein.
Absolutely.
So if listen, whoever was giving whoever the business in practice
It's coming
has
out.
the advantage.
No, it's
Uh,
gonna come out, and we go all see like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
he was kicking
That's
his
who was
ass
killing.
all
Yeah,
year.
that's who was killing who in the practices. So, but I don't know. I guess that's a TBD, man, with between Hartenstein and Robinson. But
Yeah,
you would give Towns the edge over Chet
Chet.
Holmgren.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Um,
But see the thing too, what we were talking about is uh forcing the issue. Like, do you think what so would the Pacers need to create the matchup like I was saying, who you need to attack defensively, and even Bong mentioned that Jalen Brunson is a liability defensively. Do you think there's a matchup that OKC that the Pacers should try to exploit against OKC? Maybe it's not necessarily favorable, but someone that they should schematic wise say, we're going to try to switch and attack this guy because we want to get him in foul trouble. That's the only way to shake up their lineup, right? Is to take some people out. So who do you like? How do you do it?
I would say you have to attack the bigs.
Okay.
Like if you get Hartenstein in foul trouble, then it's gonna force Chet into the five, or you've got to play Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams.
Okay.
So that's where I would attack first. Like, man,
And
okay,
and then essentially they become uh more evenly matched because there's just one big and
yes, yeah, you could do that. Now now you can play Toppin and Siakam together, and you're still effective, as opposed to losing anything and being too undersized. But
yeah.
that's what I would do, because they have entirely too many wing players.
Yeah. And I
Like,
mean
way
length,
too many.
pause, but yeah.
But
Like
I mean,
they're
like
not
guys like Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe can score.
yeah, and
He just
they're not small players either.
he just don't get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Then you got Case and Wallace. You got you got Aaron Wiggins. Like, yeah, man. The beat goes on. My gosh.
So okay, if we're talking attacking the head of the snake, like once again, back to E. Gibson when he initially jumped in here. If we're
Mhm.
talking attacking the head of the snake, do you do the same thing that I say the Pacers should do to Brunson? do you attack SGA?
It's hard to attack SGA because you can hide him given all the other defenders you have on the court with him.
Correct. But do you pull him out and maybe pick and roll or ISO and force the issue against him just to see if maybe he gets some ticky tack fouls?
I put him in pick and roll, but I'll tell you why I put him in pick and roll. I put him in pick and roll just so he's getting hit. Like, look, hit him on them picks, keep running him off these picks and letting him get hit so that he can't, like, he's feeling it when he's trying to attack on the offensive end.
But
So I would
here
go for that
go
reason.
ahead. Here's my thought though. Remember when I said that Minnesota should try going with a guard to guard,
Yeah,
right? Guard to guard
They
pick
started
and
doing
roll.
that. They started doing that.
Yeah. I would probably run Halliburton and Siakam.
Okay.
And if I can get the switch with Siakam to SGA, I'd have Siakam continue to try to force
Bully.
yes. Now, so E. Gibson, that could be an advantage if you continuously get Siakam get SGA matched up with Siakam defensively. I could see Siakam taking advantage of that and possibly drawing a couple fouls. But again, just like he's key in this series with against the Knicks, same will be against OKC. Like he's gonna have to be involved.
Yeah.
But man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to beat them. Like it just seems like this may be their year. It may be OKC's year. Minnesota just wasn't ready, and we have another, drawn out competitive series between the Knicks and the Pacers. I would say, again, I think we asked about which series was more exciting. The Knicks and Pacers has ended up being the best one out of the two conference finals. I mean, the Western Conference, to me, it was a foregone conclusion. The last episode when we were on, I said this may be bless you, salute. This may be one of those situations where Minnesota is just happy not to get swept, just like they did last year when they were playing against the Mavs. It just seemed like they're like, fuck it, we ain't gonna get swept. And then when that happened, when they made sure that didn't happen, what was left? Like they got smacked in the last game. Yo, what up, engineer? What's good? Engineer in the building. So what could Minnesota have done differently? What do you think?
They could have went to guard sooner. Anthony Edwards, as great as Anthony Edwards is, right? Anthony Edwards didn't do a good job of getting open. Where I mean, he's at the top of the key, like maybe hash mark. Step into the defender's chest with your shoulder and create the space and give a target. He didn't do that. It like just simple things of just stepping into the body of the defender, hit him with the shoulder, turn, booty him, and then pause, and then go and then get open for the ball to create space. He didn't do those things. He kind of just tried to juke and rely on his athleticism to get open, and it just seemed like it could have been a lot easier for him to get open. The other thing, I was talking about this earlier. I think they're 40% on 3-pointers, the percentage. I think that sometimes it could be misleading and overrated. So Anthony Edwards this year led the NBA in 3-pointers made, and he shot 39.5%, which technically 40% because you round up. So he shot 40%.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they
and
keep talking about it too.
and so where I say that it's misleading and it could be a little overrated is when Anthony Edwards had his success last year, he was working the mid-range. He was getting to the basket. He was using his athleticism. He was doing all those things, and then you add more range because the media is saying you got to learn how to shoot, and so he adds more range to his game. But in the process of adding more range to your game, it's almost like you lose some of your aggressiveness and some of your aggression and getting to your spots. That's one thing that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is doing well, is he's getting to his spots as a mid-range assassin. Like, they're trying to make it seem like the mid-range is the worst shot in basketball. Man, the mid-range is alive and well. If
Yeah, people just don't go to it as much as they
and
probably should.
and Anthony Edwards had that. And it's like this year you kind of went away from that and you abandoned that in this series. So I think that Anthony Edwards could have did that more. I think that Randall should have posted up more. You standing at the top of the key. Stop standing at the top of the key. Get down there. Get closer to the basket. Post up. Even if you don't get the ball in the post, that puts you in a position to get an offensive rebound. You're out of position. You can't get offensive rebounds. Um, I think that Rudy Gobert, they I didn't like the defense that Finch was running because it kept putting Rudy on an island with Shea. And it's like he's a rim protector, but they're taking him away from the basket. Like I,
Rudy Gobert.
yeah,
Mm,
there were a lot of times where he was taken away from the basket. It's like, man, nah, man. You can't keep taking this man away from the basket and forcing him to try to guard on the perimeter. That's unfair
well,
to him, and that's not where he's most effective.
but they so okay. So then you need to fight through screens because they were purposely doing that. Which you saw that when you saw Dallas do that to Rudy Gobert last year.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with your boy Doncic.
Luca on ISO,
Yeah,
the game winner.
had him on skates.
Yeah, it's
So
terrible.
I mean, but there's tape on everybody in the league. They watched that and they did the same thing with them. So you have to defensively come up with some kind of scheme to try to combat that. But Mel Gibson, fresh off the Braveheart revamp.
Oh,
Appreciate you tapping in. This is our first time seeing you, man. So shout out to you, man. We appreciate you jumping in. Hopefully this won't be the last time we see you, and hopefully we can get you to subscribe as well. Um,
man.
and what's up, Matthew Miller in the building. Bong is in the chat. He's not with us, but he is active in the chat right now.
Shout out to Matthew Miller for missing all the talk about the New York Knicks. It's been a long time talking about it.
um, but Mel Gibson says this is the first comment. He said, Minnesota, you need an elite big man. Excuse me, an elite big man like Jokic, surrounded with shooters. Nuggets don't have shooters. They were a few shooters and a bench away. I mean, so then you would turn Minnesota into Dallas. I mean, into Denver.
Denver.
Yeah. Um,
The Denver Timberwolves.
yeah. I mean, so Mel Gibson, I would ask you, since Anthony Edwards is your star, your cornerstone of that franchise, the Timberwolves, what do you surround him with? Because I understand what you're saying with the Jokic comment, but what do you surround Anthony Edwards with? Because those are the cards that they are playing with right now. He says perimeter players like Edwards simply will not do anything against OKC. You're getting switched onto an elite defender every time. Luka destroys OKC because he's 6'7", 260. Nobody can touch him. I mean, they doubled Edwards a lot. I think their thing was to run a couple players at Edwards. Um, and since we're talking about Luca, I'll go back to another player on that franchise before he got traded, obviously, but Dirk Nowitzki. So if you have Anthony Edwards operating where most times, top of the key, maybe um, you know, at an angle, free throw line extended out to the 3-point line, never really, sometimes in the corner, right? But most of the time middle of the court. So if they were charging at him and bringing two players, you remember what they used to do with Dirk, the nail ISO?
Yeah.
Maybe you should start trying to implement something that gives him a nail ISO or something. Somewhere around there at the, you got to have some kind of action, especially if he's getting blitzed, right? Like you got to do something, double stagger or something, like something that gets him to the middle of the court freely and open.
So would that be and I think that was an issue with Minnesota as well, is they had Anthony Edwards kind of starting the action and being the playmaker as opposed to being off ball.
Right.
Like,
And he's getting blitzed.
yeah.
So the ball's out of his hands, and now you're probably 10 seconds into the shot clock.
So I mean, but it was like we talked about Minnesota for doing that with Julius Randle. So you stop doing it with Julius Randle, and then you start doing it with Anthony Edwards. Like, yo, man, no, man. You needed to have somebody else get them the ball
Mm-hmm.
after, yeah, you had the actions to get them open. So I guess more so than anything, Minnesota will need a point guard.
So, so let's check this out. So Mel Gibson says, I think Cat and Edwards would have actually challenged this OKC team more because Rudy is nothing on the offensive side. I would say maybe that's true, but because you could pin Edwards and Towns in the pick and roll, and that may look better than Edwards and Randall in the pick and roll. Because Towns is shooting the ball a little bit better, and I don't think Randall attacked enough as he should have. If he would have attacked, then maybe it looks different because he is a more aggressive, like to the basket player than Towns is. So
Mel,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Mel Gibson. I would say though that if you had Anthony Edwards and Cat together this year, they may not have beat the Lakers. Like, Julius Randle was instrumental in that series. He was good in the first two series. And I don't know if Cat gives you that in those first two series. I know in the OKC series, yeah, he's an inside out guy. But I don't know if I don't know if he would have been better for the first two.
Where is Bong? Bong, you still in the building? So look at what Alf Sucks at Mock Drafts is saying. Been saying this before the postseason. Minnesota needs a traditional PG to initiate the offense. Would CP3 be a good fit for Minnesota at this point?
5 years ago, he would have.
So not right now not at this point in his career.
Nah,
Okay.
he's he's like he's Stephon Marbury with the Celtics, man. At this point,
Okay.
it just his time is, yeah.
And Matthew Miller says, I think Ant could benefit from what the Knicks do with Brunson, old school ISO with all players on the other side of the court. Um, so, and I get what you're saying. What OKC said is, Anthony Edwards, you're not going to beat us. Somebody else will. So they were just automatically blitzing. So they didn't give a shit. Like they weren't sending all the other players to the other side. They were sending two at Edwards to get the ball out of his hand early.
And
But which is okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's unfortunate because the one game that they lost by 2, had they have won that game, it may have forced OKC to rethink what they were doing. When it was 120, what it was
Yeah.
120,
Yeah.
26, may have forced them to change it up a little bit. But because OKC was still able to pull it out, they're like, hey man, we don't have to change it. We look, they can't we put it on those other guys to beat us, and they were good. They were great tonight, but it still wasn't enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Um.
Despite
Yeah.
Julius Randle having 5 points. It's a different story though.
I mean, and again, I don't think they really figured out, which is crazy to say this because you're this late into the season and into the playoffs. You made it this far, but if you look at all the teams, let's look at the last team standing. The one with the least chemistry was Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like
it even when because everyone was highlighting how good Randall was playing in the playoffs. Statistically, it was good, but when you watched it, you're like, man, he's holding the ball too long. He's missing the pass. He's making it difficult. It was all these things, but because Minnesota was winning and his stats looked good, we overlooked it. But then you run into OKC, and all those problems that were happening in the first couple of rounds with him they were magnified.
yeah,
And it's like, oh wow.
and you just have to find a way for Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns to both consistently have good games together.
You mean Julius Randle?
I mean, sorry, I'm saying Karl Anthony Towns. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle to consistently have good games together. Because Randle will have a good game, and then you'll see Anthony Edwards fall off. Anthony Edwards will have a good game, and then you'll see Randle fall off. And that has something to do with, you know, the team. Like, what is that? The team plays and the schemes. Like, how are you putting him in position? Like, again, we kept talking about who's initiating. They switched from Randall getting the ball up top to now it's Anthony Edwards getting the ball up top. It was just like, I don't know, man. Like I saw E. Gibson's comment about not being a big Finch fan. And again, like Bong always says, we just a few dudes in the basement talking about some sports, but Finch is a accomplished coach. But what do you think about his style and how he handled this with Minnesota?
I mean, I said it early in the series, or it was either this series or last series. I said, I don't want to say Finch needs to get hurt, but he needs to find a way to end up behind that damn bench and let that other guy coach. Because it seemed like he don't have it going right now. That was like he just wasn't adjusting.
Look, Bong says, damn, Steph's hammy bought Minnesota a Western Conference run. Hey, Bong, I wouldn't even call this a run. I would call this an appearance. And I would say the same fate would have been there for probably Golden State too. Like they were just going up against a juggernaut that was going to smack either one of them. So, but yeah, I mean, again, Bong has been talking about that a lot too, saying that if Steph Curry didn't go down, that Minnesota Golden State series would have been different.
Here's something else though. So when we look at OKC and we see what they're doing, right, and they're the favorites to win them in the finals, I would agree that they're the favorites to win the finals, despite all the stuff I was saying. How close was How close was Denver when you see that they took them into 7 games in the series?
Um, Yeah, and then that makes you wonder, like, what was it? Is it just that a dominant big is the kryptonite of OKC?
It you I mean, honestly, what changed that series was when they made the move to put Alex Caruso on Jokic.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
and I know Jokic didn't have his best games in that series. Um, but and Aaron Gordon was key. But the fact that you have a dominant presence that you have to account for, that you have to make that your primary, you know, thing to stop on the defensive end, did that was that what kind of shook it up for OKC?
Maybe. But it wasn't just it was a dominant big man that could do everything.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Minnesota doesn't have
Yeah, but I'm saying
they don't
like
have post they don't have post they don't have a post presence because Gobert's not scoring and then Julius Randle doesn't go down there enough.
like I would say if you took like Embiid, right? And had Embiid on Denver, even though he's a dominant big, I don't think the success would have been the same because Embiid doesn't initiate the offense. He's not a willing passer like Jokic is. He doesn't do all those things that Jokic does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, it's more than just being a dominant big. You have to do some of everything. As I said, the only thing Jokic wasn't doing was selling popcorn.
Right. But what I'm saying is all of the action
Yeah.
comes from the center position, comes from a big, right? So we keep talking about OKC's guards and forwards and how they're active and defensive and all of that stuff. But if you have a big who's versatile, which I mean, the second I don't know which game is uh less attractive or the least attractive as far as aesthetics. Is it Karl Anthony Towns or Jokic? Um,
Oh, less attractive is Karl Anthony Towns.
okay.
Okay.
Well, that's why I changed it to aesthetic because I don't even want to use attractive and Karl
Yeah,
Anthony
yeah,
Towns in the
yeah,
same sentence.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I don't know what I was doing half the
but
time.
but but you will hear, yeah, and that's what I was getting to. You'll hear a lot of people say that Towns is a versa. They said it on the panel tonight. I think they say he's a versatile big.
He is. Won't dispute
So
that.
so would he be the biggest issue for OKC left?
Probably. The advantage I said that New York had was so
Engineer
much
said pause. Oh man.
better.
Hey, and Matthew Miller said, "Don't talk about Cat like that. He's straight as hell."
Listen, man, he cannot beat those allegations, man. As every game passes,
Look
them
at K
allegations.
Bird. K Bird. After all that, hey, did you see that? Did you see that shit? It was Bong who sent it to us where they were like, they were
The
interviewing the Knicks fans, like, give me your best Cat impression. That shit was funny. I wish we had that to throw up right now, but yeah, K Bird, you wild with that one. That shit. Oh man. Um Matthew Miller, Bong says NYC still fighting.
yeah,
So okay, let's see. Mel Gibson says, "Do you know that only people who scored 40 on OKC was Jokic twice?" Um, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like in the field of players, because I think it was E. Gibson who had a really good question about the matchups. he was like, is there a matchup that either Indiana or New York has that's favorable over OKC? Um, and that's why I was asking, is it Towns? Because okay, Jokic, obviously what he, how he plays in his position, the only one to score 40. I mean, is there anybody else who could maybe not score 40 but could give them some trouble?
Yeah, it would be it would be at the center spot. And again, it's because okay, see, that's where they're thinnest, and they're not really thinnest there because they've got three guys that they can put on you at that spot. Pause. Um,
And to Gibson's point, K Bird is saying that's because Jokic is a generational player. So, and I do think Brunson could go for 40, but the Brunson 40 on OKC is gonna be
at the expense
yeah, that's it. Go ahead. Finish that sentence for me, man.
at the expense of everybody else on this team.
Right.
It's go if y'all if some of y'all a little older and y'all watched the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and it was the episode of Will and Carlton, and it was pass the ball to Will. That's
Oh
what it would
man.
look like. Brunson just dribbling around and everybody looking at him like, damn, can I get involved?
Yeah.
You gonna get me involved in this? I know how to play too. I'm a pro. But yeah.
Yeah. And Mel Gibson, Bong. So just I know Mel Gibson is new in here. So Bong, there's three of us. Bong's not physically on the screen with us right now, but he's in the chat and he mentioned um Caruso and Dort being able to give Brunson some problems. So he's because he says if Neesmith is causing Brunson problems, imagine Dort. So imagine Dort and a switch off with Caruso.
I hear you, Mel. I just believe that the referees would blow that whistle a little bit faster with Dort on Brunson.
Yeah.
Just the physical size difference between the two of them, and Dort already being aggressive. They're gonna be like, you're getting too much of an advantage, and they'd blow the whistle.
Matthew Miller says Dort is too slow. Not as you know, quick or as swift as Brunson. But what he'll probably do is just kind of give him some more physicality to slow
Yeah,
him down a little bit.
forearm.
Throw some
Get that
forearms
arm
out
bar.
there. So I agree with you, Matthew Miller, but he'll probably try to get more physical with him just to beat him up, slow him down a little bit. And if he gets him, if he has to take fouls to do that, I'm pretty sure they'll be okay with that.
They'll be like, okay, come on, Alex, it's your turn.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and Neesmith was missing tonight, man. Like I say, K Bird, the Pacers just didn't play a good game. So I think I saw Scotty Boy say, hope the Knicks have fun because they out of there in 6. I know we got some Knicks fans in here, but I do think Indiana's gonna win that game when they go back to the crib.
I think and Mel Gibson said Jalen Williams is an elite defender. I think he's a good defender. I don't know if he's elite, but he's good.
Are they collectively an elite defensive team?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Collectively, they are. Yes.
Yeah.
We gotta let elite hold some kind of weight. Like the word elite itself.
We got to reserve that for Hall of Famers.
Not Hall of Fame.
Because I think what was it? Was it Warren Sapp who said he reserves the word great? He reserves great for Hall of Fame talent.
Okay.
Um,
Hey,
so
sometimes you can do work off the field and end up in the Hall of Fame, man.
hey, What Hall of Fame we talking about too, right?
I'm talking about the NBA Hall of Fame. I'm talking about
Oh shit. J Dub all NBA 13 over Sengun and Trey Young was a travesty. Oh. Hmm. Okay.
over Sangoon.
I gotta see what Trey Young.
Yeah, huh?
Is this oh man. OG deserves to be on second team all defense, KP. This
I
is
think
Matthew Miller
OG's
saying.
I think he's a heck of a defender. Like OG and Michael Bridges, those are two really, really good defenders.
Yeah.
And Josh Hart is a heck of a defender as well.
Yeah. I think they put Ananobi in more of a role of defensive like a primary defensive guy, yeah, like a stopper against the main guys and stuff like that. So he kind of would shine a little bit more as far as that goes. So I could see that Matthew Miller. Especially in a time where you know dudes ain't really playing defense. Motherfuckers are out here just doing the Olay. New York has a few guys who will get in the stands and you know
Yeah.
and get to the defense. But
Hey,
again,
baby.
go ahead.
Especially playing for Tibbs because you want to be on the court. You
Right.
you blow an assignment, man, he might put you under the bench.
Yeah.
So everybody outside the top five, with the starters, as soon as you come in that game, you're playing defense.
Hey, and don't hey look, don't bash Sengun because you know we got the resident Houston fan in the building. Engineer stepped up, said he played pretty well. And look, and staying consistent, especially with his handicap, Jalen Green.
Man, man.
Hey, engineer ain't letting up on that.
Yeah, I see, man. That's a cold shot.
Look at this. Hey, Scotty Boy. So Scotty Boy says, so what's the over and under on how many times they show John Halliburton? Remember, last time I put it at 2.5
I'm
because
agree
y'all
with
were
oh, I'm
y'all were talking about y'all didn't know if he was gonna be shown or not. I said I'm taking that over 2.5. He's gonna be on there at least 3 times. They're gonna show him before the motherfucking game starts.
I so that counts.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like
As
they
long as,
they're
yeah,
gonna show him before the game
as long
starts.
as TNT broadcasts him. And you
Yeah,
know what? What game is it? It's 6. So that's that's what I'm going with.
6 times.
Absolutely.
I think it'll be somewhere around there. And then don't let the Pacers win because then it's
Oh yeah.
it's
It's gonna be 2
really
or 3 more
yeah.
times. 2
So if you
or 3.
so if you take the over in that, you better hope that the Pacers win because then you're definitely getting
I
you
think they're
definitely
just gonna
getting
show him if he loses. And it wasn't enough with John being in the stands. Guess he's got to get closer to the bench.
with his terrible towel.
Yeah. I'm going with the over. No, I'm not going 6. I'm going over 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I go over on the 6.
Okay. I would agree with that because I think they're gonna be heavy on the Halliburton ties at night. Um, so that hey, the chat is showing Trey Young some love.
Oh my
Trey
gosh.
Young averaged 24 and 12, led the league in assists per game. If Jalen Johnson doesn't get hurt, they contend for a playoff spot with Detroit.
Mm,
Jalen Johnson was hooping.
he was.
Yeah.
He was. And they had what's his name? The stopper defensively. I can't think of his name. I think he's from Australia. What's his name? Damn. That's bothering me. Oh, he played for the Pelicans and got traded to yeah, Dyson Daniels. That's it. Thank you, Matthew Miller. Dyson Daniels is a hell of a defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I I don't understand how they be doing the defensive awards because Jaren Jackson, man. I I'm trying to figure out how my man be first team, how he's got a defensive player of the year.
Hey man, you gotta check his stats, baby. You know they going off of that. Is he a good defensive rebounder? Is he blocking shots? You know, they going off of all of that kind of stuff.
We're celebrating defensive rebounds.
I'm
I
saying
mean, I
I'm
know,
saying from his position, that's part of it.
I
What
know
you mean celebrating? They I know they looking at that.
I know it secures the stop. I get it, but man,
Well, when you said him, I'm specifically saying he not stepping out on the perimeter, shutting guys down. So it would be block shots, defensive rebounds, maybe some steals. Um, I don't know.
I guess it's one of them aesthetic things again.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, what it looks like versus what it really is.
It was a lock for Wemby Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. I mean, listen, he will probably be somebody who's always in the hunt for the Defensive Player of the Year.
I I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm still trying to like the way his game looks. Like he's talented. So I don't want people to get the wrong idea and say and think, oh, KP said Wimby's sorry, and he's nah, man, he's talented. He's a heck of a player. I just don't like the way it looks.
Yeah, look, it looks nasty, but that's because he's fucking 7'7",
Yeah.
and it looks unorthodox and stuff. Like it's effective and it's crazy. Like some of the stuff is just crazy, but yeah, it doesn't look that good. Uh,
It Jackson,
Jackson Jr. still missed out on 100 million because of not making any of the All NBA teams. Yeah,
that was the NBA trying to help Memphis. So it didn't put him over the salary cap. The first or second apron. They also did it a couple years ago with what's his name? Ja Morant. So they trying to help build something over there in Memphis.
hey Bong, you still in the chat? Cause Scotty Boy got a question. He's saying, in this case, if you have a gun to the back of your head and you need somebody to grab a rebound, who you taking, Angel Reese or Andre Drummond?
Damn, and K Bird with the shots. Oh my
Hey,
god.
hey, Scotty Boy, Angel Reese, is the fastest. If I'm not mistaken, did they say she's the fastest player to 500 rebounds and 500 points in the history of the WNBA?
Mm-hmm.
Like she just made that mark. Okay.
The
And
so I mean I would Scotty Boy, who are they rebounding against? Is it Angel Reese in the WNBA and Andre Drummond in the NBA? What is it? Because I'd probably take Angel Reese. Because if it's Angel Reese against any of the other women, she's arguably the best rebounder in WNBA history at this present moment. Or on pace to be, I should say that. On pace to be the greatest rebounder in WNBA history.
people will say me bounds, the greatest me bounder, but she's you know, she's getting busy, man. Like the problem is that they keep comparing her to Caitlin Clark, and they're two different types of players, dog.
Yeah.
Two different positions, two different types of players. So, I mean, in her own right, she's effective and she's doing her thing, and she needs, time to develop, just like some of the other players who are greats now and maybe didn't start off as good as they are now. But she's already cooking 500 and 500. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. So shout out to her.
Absolutely.
Bong is back.
Yep.
Was waiting for it. He said, "Give me Angel Reese." Matthew Village said, "Have you tried Angel Reese meal? The Angel Reese meal at McDonald's is delicious."
Nah.
She does have one though, right? Didn't
Yeah.
Travis Scott have a meal too?
I
I
don't
want to
remember.
say, yeah, I want to say. Hey, Matthew Miller, what comes with the Angel Reese meal? I know Travis Scott did have one, dog. If I'm
I'm
and
looking
it
it up now.
Yeah, it's not like they called it the Travis Scott meal, but it was like he had some commercials and people were kind of referring to it
It was the
as a
quarter pounder with cheese and bacon,
see?
medium fries with a barbecue sauce and a Sprite.
Okay, there you go.
That was the Travis Scott. And then you did the Angel Reese.
Yeah. Hey, K Bird. Who's your favorite boxer, man? You a boxing fan?
Okay, and hers is the new barbecue bacon quarter pounder with cheese, fries, and a drink.
Wait, what's hers again?
It's a barbecue bacon quarter pounder with cheese, fries, and a drink.
That's the same thing.
No, 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 no. It's not the same thing.
What was Travis Scott's?
His was a quarter pounder with cheese and bacon, medium fries with a barbecue sauce and a Sprite.
The only thing that's different is the barbecue sauce.
Hey man, just saying what it's. I'm just saying what it's telling me, man.
Oh shit.
As long as
Oh,
Angel Reese ain't trying to sell the McRib, we all right.
uh, K Bird said in a Nissan Altima toy. Oh shit. Oh man. Engineers like it's McDonald's. What y'all expect? Oh shit.
But we started talking about OKC, and we started talking about the series and stuff like that. I wanted to get back on there for a second, and
And before you go into it, we got a new person.
okay,
Um, and hopefully is it Sado Berry? Sado Berry. Shout out to you. Appreciate you jumping in. First time we're seeing you, so we definitely want to acknowledge. Salute to you for getting in here, and hopefully we can get you to subscribe. And this won't be the last time that we see you. And for those of y'all that just keep coming back, man, appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all because I'm seeing some of the same folks continuously come and support and just rock with us. So that's dope. Go, K Bird. Is this what you talking about, K Bird, or Outsucks and Mock Draft?
both of them.
Outsucks and Mock Draft. Angel Reese toy is one of those red carnival hoops that you can't hit can't hit a shot on. And then K Bird is like selling hypertension. Hey man, do you remember, speaking of the carnival joint, do you remember the fair and remember I went to the fair in Arizona?
Yeah,
And I hit like three shots in a row on those on the baskets. So these people were approaching me. So I hit one and then somebody came up like, "Oh man, can you shoot for me?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool, no problem." Whap, hit another one. Then somebody else came like, "Man, can you shoot for me?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." Whap, hit another one. And then the attendant at the thing was like, "No more, no more." Yeah, like because they were like the real big, like, the real
yeah.
big stuffed animals. That shit was so funny. Oh man. Um Look, Mike Miller say it. I don't think DP likes my Newport jokes. Hey man, whatever floats your boat, Matthew Miller. I saw the Reese Mill. What'd you say? Newports in let me see if I can find it. A pack of Newports and lip gloss is the Angel Reese Mill. Okay.
Okay.
And then Scotty Boy, what it he said Alf sucks at mock drafts is funny. Y'all sure listen, y'all gotta show Angel Reese some love, man. Angel Reese be getting it done, man. And if Bong was on here, he would be irate right now.
Absolutely. He is irate. That's probably why he's not on. He probably done slammed his phone.
Look, no,
Went
he
off.
out here. He said no Angel Reese
Yeah.
slander. Like, yeah. But KP, you were saying that you wanted to circle back to something with the games before we got up out of here.
Yeah. So what's it at? Talking about Shea, right? So Shea's got the regular season MVP.
Mm-hmm.
He got the Western Conference MVP. I think it's the Irvin Magic Johnson MVP of Western Conference MVP award.
Uh-huh.
Got that.
Scotty boy is nuts. Hey, Scotty boy, get you that family size of them Reese's Puffs.
Can he sweep and get a Finals MVP?
And I think who was that pointed it out? Somebody in the chat mentioned that or asked that question. Was it
Alf Sucks and Mock Drive said he would be the first reigning MVP winning championship since, did he say Curry?
He's gonna sweep. He's gonna sweep. Like what on scheme wise, player wise, matchup wise from New York or the Pacers would indicate that he'll slow down in this next series.
You said what pacer could slow him down?
No. Anything. What are they bringing to the table that gives you the idea that SGA will slow down in the finals? That he won't have some of those 30-point games and close to triple double maybe here and there. I think he'll make.
If he plays the Pacers, nobody, because the Pacers are going to try to outscore him.
I'm saying he's gonna sweep.
I hear you. I agree.
Yeah, I don't see anybody preventing him from pulling off the sweep. So absolutely, he's gonna sweep.
He'd be the first player in NBA history to do it.
Okay.
Well, that's only because the award came out in 2022.
Yeah, and the Clippers are somewhere rolling around in their grave.
What's his name? Ballmer.
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer's kicking himself.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly when that trade was pulled off. Did Ballmer take ownership before SGA got traded?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, so I'm saying for sure. Sweet. No doubt.
Okay. And then there was one more. And it was pertaining to OKC. And chat, we're bringing these questions up, but feel free to chime in. You guys have been chiming in, all show, but just want you guys to know, we do like you guys chiming in. It is a discussion.
What pivotal offseason addition made OKC a contender? Well, the obvious two, and Caruso and Hardenstein. I will say Caruso has probably proven to be more versatile because he's defensively he's doing so much. Um, and already being did Caruso get a chip?
Yeah, with the
Yeah,
Lakers.
yeah, he got one with the Lakers. So already having gone and gotten a chip and all that stuff.
It's amazing how when Caruso got it, no one's calling it the bubble chip. They're like, "Oh yeah, he got a chip."
It's a bubble chip.
It's like, "Oh, he got the chip
Hey,
with the Lakers."
listen.
Got
You
that.
saw me doing this. It's because I was reluctantly saying I didn't even want to bring up the bubble because y'all always say I don't put enough respect on the bubble chip. So
Gotta
I
put
was trying
respect
not to even say it, but you
on it.
still brought it up today. So I was doing this like he got a chip, like you know we gonna say he got one, but I would say maybe Caruso, but Hartenstein is doing this thing too, man. Um,
I say it's Hartenstein because Hartenstein pushes Chet to a 4 spot, and Chet, like, if they don't have Hartenstein, then you're playing Chet and you're playing Jalen Williams, J Will, not J Dub, and
Matthew Miller said that bubble chip is a fluke too. By the way,
that's a New York fan, man. Come on, man, you
okay,
can't
hey,
take him serious, man.
okay,
Can't take him serious. Um, but yeah, I think Hartenstein. I don't want to say gave them more versatility because Caruso's more versatile defensively.
right. That's
Hart,
what I'm saying.
well, Hartenstein helped more so with Chet and helped Chet because now Chet is able to roam around and not have to be primarily stuck guarding a post player.
I like what you're doing here. We both know it's Caruso, but since I said Caruso,
No, no, no,
you
no,
can
no.
no. But since I said Caruso, you got to come up with some points for
Nah,
Hartenstein.
nah,
I
I'm
respect it.
saying,
I
EP,
respect it.
if we go back to like our old videos before the season started, or even when the season started, I was saying as soon as OKC got Hartenstein, they were the favorites to win the West. Just on the
No, I
Hartenstein
know.
deal alone. So it was before Caruso.
And then Caruso came out of the woodworks and
Yeah, like
just exceeded expectation and has
absolutely.
become a key in their run.
Oh
So
yes.
what he's also doing is if you want to talk about his impact on or Hartenstein's impact on other players with Chet and allowing him to do what he does, Caruso is also allowing SGA to not even have to worry about um, being a primary defender or anything like that. He can kind of, not exert as much energy on that side, even though they all play defense and it's a collective effort. But I mean, just like I say, plugging Caruso in different spots is just worked wonders for them. Like,
Save their
come on, dog. He was
save
guarding centers. Like what? Like
save their season.
you didn't send Hartenstein out to guard him. You sent
Oh no,
Caruso.
they let Hartenstein was beating up Jokic. They're like, Hark, you beat him up first, and then Chet, then you beat, then we'll let Caruso beat him up.
Hey, the chat is going wild on this bubble
LeBron,
situation. Okay, so engineer said, wait, hold on. Let me back up. Hold on. Hold on. So K Bird, the chip in the bubble will always count. He said, don't even listen. Always count is gonna be a compound word in this situation. Don't get it twisted. Okay. My argument was this: when sports shut down, everyone wanted to watch a game and have entertainment, and now nobody want to count it when all we wanted was to watch sports. Well, I'll say this, K Bird. I feel you in terms of looking at it from that perspective. Just the impact it had during the time and the circumstance. But we're speaking on the time and the circumstance, right? And what was going on at the time. This bubble chip,
Hey man,
it's
so
this championship.
yeah,
It was an NBA AAU tournament. NBA AAU tournament. So
absolutely Bong.
and then to that point, so then that's what I'm saying. So Bong said COVID made the last dance go triple platinum. So again, that's a circumstance, right? All of our attention was everybody was wanting to consume sports. Like K Bird was saying. They were wanting to consume sports. COVID helped it go triple platinum, as Bong said. So yeah, but it had kind of like that similar effect on the bubble tournament, the bubble tournament, the AAU tournament. No,
If the Clippers would have won, you'd be celebrating and saying,
no,
"We got a
no.
title."
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because if the Clippers would have won, then everybody really would have been like, "Oh, that bubble shit don't count."
I wouldn't have been like that.
Oh, most of the people who are saying that the Lakers shit count would have been saying that bubble shit don't count if the Clippers would have won the bubble championship. Guarantee you. We out here in LA and you know that's what motherfuckers would have been doing. Oh, the Clippers? Oh, they just won the bubble tournament. That shit ain't nothing. Come on, dog. But since the Lakers won it, it's like, oh, that was the hardest championship to win in history,
Difficult, man.
man. Like, come
It was
on. Like,
difficult,
get that
man.
shit out of here,
You had
man.
your fans up there, man, not real fans. You like, what the hell is this? You
Man.
you had to get used to the depth perception of no cameraman behind the backboard and stuff.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. So he says, so you can't argue with that because everyone had equal footing. It definitely would have counted for the Clippers, Heat, Celtics, anyone who won it. What I'm saying to you, K Bird, is everyone has equal footing. Therefore, it doesn't make it the most difficult championship to win because you're not going on the road, you're not traveling, you're not doing you're
It,
everybody's on the even playing field, so to speak, or whatever. Then at that point, it's just if you're the better AAU team, the better tournament team at the time, then you're gonna win. You don't have to travel and you don't have to see different crowds and shit like that. Y'all are all in one space just playing basketball.
it's the mental space that people were in. Some people were
Man.
ready to get the hell up out of there. No, I'm serious. Some people were ready to get the hell up out of there.
Which again speaks to it being easier because some people are just gracefully like, man, I can't do this no more. I'm out. Look, motherfuckers went Shark Tank on their ass. What I say the other day, Bong, motherfuckers went Shark Tank in the bubble. They were like, there's no hoes here. I can't eat the food that I want. I'm just simply tired of this. I don't see my family. And for that, I'm out.
Lou Williams.
I'd rather be eating lemon pepper chicken. And for that, I'm out. I'm just saying, like, I hear you, K Bird, but we'll be going back and forth on this. Look, Bong said, and for that reason, I'm out. Exactly. K Bird, you just gave me another reason. There's no hoes here. I don't get the food I want to eat. I get tested for COVID every single day, and for that reason, I'm out. Oh man. Oh, KP.
What's up?
You know what we got to get to before we get up out of here, man.
Oh yeah, it's about that time, man. It's about that time.
I would rather look. I'd rather be getting pink eye from a curvy Latino woman, and for that reason, I'm out.
Oh, Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. It's about that time. Bong isn't here. So you got to start it up.
Bong, you know what time it is. Bong is in the chat. So I'm gonna let him rightfully put this out there, and I'll let it be known what's said once he puts it out. But we're here at KP's picks, and
Oh, he's there.
I know, as you know, Bong says, and I quote, "The thoughts and views of KP are his and his alone, and do not represent the thoughts and views of 2Peez and a Bong. Please gamble responsibly." And for those of you who are familiar with this part, you know KP's. Oh, don't forget this part. We have no sponsors. For those of y'all who are familiar with this is KP's picks, and KP's motto behind this is you can bet your bottom dollar. Just don't bet the ones on top. KP.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So I didn't put my picks in for today's game. I did play some. I just did two. But I selected
Put
12.
your glasses back on.
I selected 12 different scenarios. 8 of them hit out of the 12. So for Saturday's game, KP's picks, we got TJ McConnell over 6.5. I like when it's 6.5 points. So I took the over on that. Money Making Mitch over 4.5 points. Obi Toppin over 5.5 points. Jalen Brunson going over on the points, over 30.5. Josh Hart over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. TJ McConnell over 1.5 rebound. Josh Hart over 2.5 assists. Mitchell Robinson over 4.5 points and assists. This is a steal, y'all. It has the over 4.5 points by itself, and it has the over 4.5 points and assists. Miles McBride over 4.5 points and assists. Obi Toppin over 4.5 points and assists. Cat over 4.5 free throws made. I do think he'll make 5 free throws. TJ McConnell over 9.5 points and rebounds. Miles McBride over 4.5 points and rebounds. Cat over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And last but not least, Mr. Shamit over 5.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Those are KP's picks.
Hey y'all, do with that information what you will. This fool KP threw on the shades and started hitting y'all with the radio voice over 5.5 points. KP on what you power 10 sour 106 92.3 to cheat, like radio station host Shamit over 1.1 SGA over 2.5 assist. But nah, do with that information what y'all will. Once again, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. It was a few new folks in the chat. We hope to see y'all again. So, you know, engineer, got to hit you with something. You got the men in black glasses hoping everybody forget what you say. Oh shit. But yeah, so shout out to everybody in here, man. Hey, thank y'all. We don't just, this ain't fake when we say thank y'all. Like we really we get
Thank you.
once we get off this mug, we talking about how y'all rock with us. That shit is really dope. So I appreciate all y'all jumping in here. We appreciate all y'all jumping in here. Shout out to Bong who was holding it down in the chat.
Absolutely.
KP, anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
Remember, if the game is low with Indiana and New York will win. So for all my live bettors, I want you to look at that. If Indiana doesn't look like they're going to score 100, go with New York.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know where your balloon's at, but
yeah, man.
look like they don't want to come out tonight, baby. Oh, there they go.
Come
There
on,
they
man.
go. 2 Peez in the bong, y'all. We out.